Hello and welcome to a brand new WebDM actual play series of TORG Eternity from Ulysses Spiele. I am so excited to play this with my wonderful cast. My name is Rudy Basso. My pronouns are he, him. You can find me online at Rudy Basso. I'm also the co-founder and co-owner of the Don't Split the Podcast Network. Let's go around and introduce our players. Tell me who you are and just give me the name of your character because we have some fun introductions coming up in a bit. So let's start with Amber.
Hi, I'm Amber. I use she, her pronouns, and you can find me on Twitter at RockOrca, and I'm playing Cypress.
And I know we'll get to you actually in a second. Let's move to your left then. Shauna, hi, hello. Tell me who you are.
Hey, I'm Shauna, she, her, and can be found at a Flying Cirrus on Twitter, and I am playing Beck Matsumoto.
Beck Matsumoto. And below you, hi there, Dot. How are you? Who are you playing?
Hi, I'm Little Red Dot. You can find me anywhere pretty much as Little Red Dot. I am playing Flick.
Nice.
Flick.
And finally, to your right, across that beautiful TORG Eternity logo, I'm sure you viewers cannot look away at that person. Hi, Pruitt. We'll have to leave everyone in suspense for a little bit, but who are you and who are you playing? Oh, you're muted.
I am a professional.
Oh, okay.
Right. Hey, everybody, I'm Pruitt from WebDM. You know our videos and you're here. My pronouns are he, him, but I will be playing Salvo, and his pronouns are he, man.
Oh. Okay, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect with what I'm going for here. Okay, so we're going to jump right into the game. TORG Eternity has such a cinematic feel that I think the only way to start it is like a movie. We pan over a futuristic city. Skyscrapers higher than anything seen in the United States dot the horizon, and bright LED billboards advertising Kanawha Chow, some sort of snack food, and other Kanawha branded line products line the sides of buildings. Electric cars and motorcycles cover the busy streets, and there is a constant but quiet, one might say surprisingly quiet and appealing versus gasoline run motors, buzz of engines. Bright neon text appears on the screen. It goes beep, 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 and says, Day 93, Kyoto, Japan, Pan Pacifica COSM. Current High Lord, unknown. And then that unknown blinks, beep, beep, beep. Snap cut to the inside of a large corporate elevator. 4 people are standing in a line as the elevator car rises up to the 97th floor out of 100. The camera starts at the left of the group. Who is this person that we see? And how would you describe them? Amber.
Yes, so you see a androgynous person standing in the corner wearing a cowboy hat, much like is upon my head right now, and glasses upon their hat, as well as wearing glasses. They are long of leg, tan of skin, and when we get to it, also loud of mouth. This is Cypress, the most carefree cowboy mage in Isle.
Does he say anything before we move on? Or do
Well,
they
if we're
say...
gonna do it like cinematic, if we're gonna do like a little cinematic,
Sure.
like cut in zoom, kind of like Suicide Squad style, sure, he goes, "Howdy, I'm Cypress. I'm good at only one thing, but I do it well, and that's that's casting kick-ass spells."
I love it.
Puts a sucker in his mouth.
The camera moves right. Next up, another figure. Who is it? Shauna.
Well, you see Beck, just a tall, lanky trans woman. She is blue hair She looks like she's less on mission, just came from either a concert or a baseball game. Who knows? But what you notice is that she is punting in her hand her baseball bat, and that's good. I like the regular, just kick some ass.
Nice. And text comes up on screen. It did this for Amber too. It says Amber Marie as Cypress. Then it says Shona Nakasone as Rebecca Beck Matsumoto. Third person in line. Who are they? Dot.
A very pale, thin, young woman with oversized glasses that probably belong to her father, and is desperately trying to grow a mullet. The back hasn't quite grown in yet. The party's not there, but she is working on it. And all strapped to her is just gear, small bits and pieces and bobs, and she wears a glove. And it has a handmade keypad on it that connects to all the other things that she has. She's decked out from Radio Shack for sure, and she beeps something onto her arm, and then she cuts and looks at the camera, and she says, "I think I forgot to feed the cat."
Text comes up. Little red dot as Flick. And finally, the end of the row. A hulking figure wearing, well, a lot of red, white, and blue. Who is this person, Pruitt?
As the camera starts at the feet, working their way up, you clearly see the figure broadening to absurd proportions. It's as if Arnold Schwarzenegger actually gave a shit and worked out. That's how big he is. And as the camera comes up, you see an American flag shirt straining against his muscles, threatening to tear itself apart like it knows it's breaking the U.S. flag code. And as it rests on his face, which is obviously agitated, he looks up at the speaker and he says, "If I ever find the guy who invented elevator music, I'm going to punch him in the throat."
And as you say that, there's a ding, and the camera freezes up above all of you looking down, and the doors open, and you walked forward out of frame onto the floor, and the words come up in Reality Raiders 3, The Search for the Eternity Armor. And then everyone in the audience applauds because they're so excited for Reality Raiders 3, because Reality Raiders 1 and 2 were like the best movies ever. Then we flash back to mission briefing with Quinn Sebastian, the leader of the Delphi Council, which is the resistance fighting against the invaders in TORG Eternity, the invaders of your planet. More on that later. Don't worry. There's plenty of exposition coming. He is a hardened soldier of fortune that has kind of come out of all of the problems that are having. He seems to be very knowledgeable. No one knows where he knows this stuff, but he has led the fight against the High Lords that are invading your planet. And he's got the big aviators. He's got his classic look. He wears a Yankees hat. He's very fond of big cigars. He's a very informal guy. He's got his feet up on his desk. You're currently on the USS Ronald Reagan, named after the current president of America. And he's kind of like talking and informally being, all right, listen, we got some sort of ghost vampire thing problem in Pan Pacifica right now. We figured it's due to their High Lord and his powers, but to be honest, I don't know who the hell it is running things over there. All I do know is that they need anti-undead tech, and we have this bad boy. And he holds up like an orb that is filled with this bright light in its pulsating fog. And it's made for killing undead. It's called, and he turns and there's an assistant standing there with a notepad, and he goes, that's the mystical orb of undead exorcism. And Quentin Sebastian goes, what he said. Okay, it's a simple trade. A for B. They want the orb. We want what he's got, the artifacts. So you give him this, he gives you that, you leave. I'm sure there won't be any problems. And then we cut back to all of you. Oh, you have questions? Yeah, questions, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Is this our briefing? He's briefing us in this moment?
Yes, he's briefing the four of you.
Yeah, Flick raises her hand.
You, Flick.
Is it a ghost or a vampire?
They say it's like vampires. You know, the hopping ones. I think they're called Jiangshi. Yeah, hopping vampires. Like people get mutated and they turn into them, and then other people get mutated and they start eating normal people. I don't really know what's going on. I'm sure it'll be fine. You'll be fine, right? Listen, I wouldn't be sending you on this if I didn't trust you to get the job done.
So there are no ghosts. I just want to make sure of that.
I mean, you know, you fight a vampire today, there might be a ghost tomorrow. It's kind of loosey. I mean, what makes a vampire versus a ghost?
You can't hit a ghost with a bat.
You can.
I beg to differ.
Magic. Oh, there you go.
I would want to bring my EMP if it was a ghost, but it's a vampire, so maybe stakes are more applicable in the moment.
If you want, we can. So you all have your normal gear, of course, but since we're flashing back, if you want to requisition any specific equipment from the Delphi Council, we can do that now. If you want some anti-ghost fighting stuff.
Well, I'm pretty sure ghost or vampire doesn't matter. It can burn.
Oh, it can burn. Oh yeah. Let's
who's our Q?
Who's your Q? Oh, I'm sure. There's a guy who does that. His name
trust him.
There's a guy.
Can you get me some wood core bullets?
Oh, sure. For killing vampires? Yeah, we can make that happen. So let's also talk about Pan Pacifica and how TORG works. The world of TORG is split into lots of different realities, or COSMs is what they're called. The Earth has been kind of taken over by these realities. And in each of these worlds, there's specific laws. Now, you may go to Isle, where Amber's character is from, which is kind of like your classic high fantasy Dungeons and Dragons world, and you can cast magic all silly-willy. In fact, if your magic, your weapon might be turned into magic if you do things right. It's very possible. Pan Pacifica, on the other hand, as we learned from our introduction, is a super high-tech advanced world. It's past what we right now in 2020 have. There's all sorts of weird things. On the other hand, magic, it's a very low magic reality. It's a very low magic world. So if Amber were to try to cast a spell and she rolled very poorly, she might become disconnected from reality and will have to reconnect. Pan Pacifica in particular, there's 4 axioms, what they're called. These are the limitations of the world: magic, social, spirit, and tech. Magic, as I said, is very low here. It's a 4. Social is 24. Now, social refers to things like economy, like hierarchy within the culture. At 24, you know, super corporations are a thing. Sometimes they're even stronger than nations. Like they have their own private armies, kind of a deal, and that's totally fine and legal. It also has a spirit level of 8. Spirit is more like divine power and gods. At higher spirit levels, there will be gods that can walk around physically and grant powers. That's one of the magic systems in this game is related to spirit as well. They're called miracles in this game. Tech is exactly what you think it is. Jetpacks, laser guns, energy weapons. As I said, Pan Pacifica's axiom of tech is high. It's 24. Cool? We're good? So, fighting ghosts, and that's why it's so weird. There's a lot of weird vampire ghost stuff. People don't really know how to fight the vampires and the ghosts because all they have are ray guns. Ends up, ray guns aren't super effective against vampires. Who would have figured? You got to use magic. But that's why they want this orb. It borders the line of spirit and tech. So it's something they want to research, something they want to use, and something this corporation, Kanawa, which is the megaist of megacorps, wants to have in their hands to help their, it's called the Kanawa Plan, to help fight the mutations and the plague. Okay, that was a lot of info. Does anyone have any questions for Quinn Sebastian or for me, Game Master, if none of that really made sense? I'm getting shakes of the head, and that means we're moving on. You are all going to meet with.
Oh, I do have a question. How are we how big is this orb and how are we transporting it? Because I imagine it draws attention. They give us like a special case.
Yes, exactly. The orb is
Okay.
it's your classic crystal ball size.
Okay,
It's not really big, and they give you a very like a fancy bowling ball bag for it.
Fancy bowling ball bag.
Mhm.
Okay,
The
awesome.
equivalent of a fancy
Okay.
bowling ball bag.
Okay, cool.
It's half off games tonight at the lanes.
You are all meeting with Vice President Toshida Yakamura, who is the Vice President of Foreign Affairs of the Kanagawa Corporation. His office is on the 97th floor. You walk in, you speak to his secretary, and she motions towards his office. It's one of those all glass encased, like the entire floor is like that. It's very modern, they call them fish bowls in a lot of offices. You can see in everywhere. And it has an external view of one of the most nicest parts of Kyoto. There's like a small park in the center of Kyoto, which is a bit out of the ordinary considering all of the billboards and technology and neon lights that are constantly flashing. He invites you to sit down. Would anybody like to do anything before that? He invites you to sit down. He offers you waters. Would you like some waters? Welcome. I'm so happy to speak with you. No waters. Okay. I'll have a water.
Salvo will take a water.
Okay. Water for Salvo, who refers to himself in the third person, apparently. I love it. I can tell you are quite the character in emotions. To you, who you are wearing what you are wearing. Right, Pruitt. Is that accurate? That you are very much a representation of Salvo as our NPCs and fellow PCs would see him?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, your stony silence gives me approval, but oh, yeah. So, again, everybody takes a seat, and Yakamura says, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here on behalf of the Delphi Council. Now, you may not be entirely familiar with the new world of Pan Pacifica, or the Kanagawa Corporation Alliance, as it may well be called. Thanks to our good and generous work, we are slowly but surely exterminating the Jiangxi menace that is plaguing parts of Japan, Korea, and mainland China. As we like to say, the right way is the Kanagawa way. He looks at all of you and smiles, and he gets up and goes over to the corner of his office where he's got one of those fancy bars like they all have in Mad Men. And he looks up to you and says, bourbon, anyone? Salvo? You like the water, you'll love the bourbon.
Unfortunately, I don't drink on the job. I'm a professional.
Now. That's a bit offensive to myself. Well, this is, shall we say, extracurricular work. You know, when these realities began invading our planet, many were frightened. Many were indifferent. I was a nobody in the old world. I'll probably be a nobody in the new one as well. But smarter individuals, like myself, for example, saw the opportunity that presented itself. They knew that things were going to change, and those that could take advantage of this change would prosper. He snaps his fingers, and a young, intern-looking man walks in with a briefcase. Like a door opens behind him in his office. He puts the briefcase down on the table and unclips it and opens it up, and it reveals two gloves or gauntlets. So one is pre-molded into like a fist, and it has straps running down the wrist line that are like buckles, like belt buckle straps. And there is a very distinct and like silver bracelet across the wrist of it. The other is a long silver glove with a keypad on the hand that's running over the top of it. And you see buttons on it that are labeled A, B, Start, and Select. As the intern closes it, and then we flash back again to the briefing with Quinn Sebastian, and he's kind of like thinking, he's like, yeah, Yeah, to be honest, if we can trade our thing for their thing, that's great. But if you could just like take their thing and also keep our thing, that'd be really great. Okay, bye. And then he dismisses you. Back to now.
Salvo swings his head around very slowly at the rest of the group. Not in no way nonchalant.
Oh. So let's talk real fast about COSM cards. Because I think something might be relevant with one of the COSM cards we drew. So when you enter one of these alternate realities, one of these alternate cosms on the planet, everybody draws a special card that is specific to that world. As I mentioned, every world has these limitations on certain aspects, but there's also very themes.
All right, folks, stand by. I'm going to see if we can improve the stream quality. It looks like our stream health is okay, and we're not dropping frames, so there might be something else causing problems. Stand by, and we will work to get it fixed. It'll be just a second, so let me see if I can free up some resources. So we're actually going to go back to our start screen for a second. I hope this doesn't restart the video. All right, it's fluttering a bit. All right, let me try reconnecting to the ingest server on Twitch. So I'll bring it down, then bring it right back up. It looks like things are fixing over here. Okay. Give it a shot now.
Like there's a special kind of, they're called world laws to them. The world of Pan Pacifica, like I said, it's a world where corporate kind of espionage is really important. Backstabbing, betrayal, commonplace, but even more important is vengeance, getting revenge on those who betray you. So these COSM cards reflect that. Sometimes they can be like changes as you enter the world. For example, it might say something like in one of the worlds, the living land, which is very primal and kind of dinosaur-like, you might get a card that says it's extremely foggy, distance checks are at penalties, like travel checks are at a penalty. In this case, Dot drew a card, and let's bring it up now, called Sold Out. Sold out. Let me read it aloud. Play immediately when drawn. Your hero will be betrayed by a non-player character he considers an ally this adventure. Gain 1 to 3 possibilities depending on the severity of the betrayal. GM's call. That's me. I'm the GM. All other Storm Knights in this party gain 1 possibility. So, as Salvo looks left and right, Vice President Yoshida Takamura continues. Going off what he said last, Kanawa Corporation knew that pressing the advantage is key to good business as well. What was once a competitive corporate environment here has gone to another level. For example, I am one of 7 vice presidents of foreign affairs, all of whom are vying to be the president of foreign affairs. And to become president of foreign affairs, you don't always engage in win-win situations. No, I much prefer win, and he points to himself, lose, and he points to the 4 of you propositions. And then he leans forward and pushes a button on his desk. And nothing happens. He kind of frowns, and his smile falters for a second, and he pushes it again. and nothing happens again.
I could take a look at that if you're having a problem with it.
No.
I'm really good with technology. I could just, I bet it's just a short in the wire or something.
What is some of your equipment that you have, Flick?
God.
Goggles? Do you have like
I have-
see-through goggles?
They're coming. They're not here yet. Yes, I have a pair
Okay.
of goggles, and I augmented the goggles to be able to do things like night vision and base level, like kind of techie type things. There's hang on, let me pull up.
Can they like zoom in on things?
I sure
Like
they can.
binocular style? Yeah, I think they
Yeah.
can binocular style.
They can do cooler things than that, so I hope they can do at least that.
Sure.
If not, Salvo does have binoculars.
Okay.
It just breaks
Nice.
them out.
Yeah.
You see out of the corner of your eye, there's some very quick movement that catches your eye because like your HUD pops up when something like that happens. And you see that there were 4 men in like military private security armor approaching you. And then suddenly 5 men in black suits kind of like appear out of nowhere and put like small containers in front of their faces, and those 4 men fall over. Yakamura taps the button again and then says something is wrong. Yoshi, he calls to his assistant. I don't. And then there is an explosion of glass as these men in suits shoot open all of the glass. They are carrying M4s except for one who holds a Glock in his hand. Let us get into initiative. Everybody gain 1 possibility point for being betrayed by Vice President.
No.
I keep forgetting his name. That's going to be a thing that happens a lot in Rudy's games. He forgets the name of the NPCs he just introduced. So let's talk about how initiative works in TORG Eternity. There are cards that specifically tell us who goes first and who goes second in terms of villains and heroes. Every round, we will draw a new card. For this round, I'm dealing it out. The card is called Here They Come.
Doesn't sound good for us.
It's
No,
not
it
good
doesn't.
for you. And wow, how perfect it is for this moment.
No!
Here they come. The
Uh-oh.
bad guys. Here they come. So I have now played the card. It should be coming up on the screen now. Grant, thank you. Grant, producer Grant, everybody say hello. Thank you, Grant, for all that you do.
We love you.
So here we go. Here's our card. We've got our title up here. Here they come. Below that, this is a standard scene. So there are 2 types of scenes, standard and dramatic. Dramatic, you know what? This is a dramatic scene, I should think. Dramatic scene is kind of the climactic moment at the end of an act, is what they call. The game is broken down into acts, missions, quests, whatever you want to call them. So this is a dramatic scene, which means the heroes will get to go first. But on the villain's turn, they get the flurry bonus, which we'll discuss when it is their turn, whenever they act. On top of that, below, you'll see the words intimidate and maneuver. In this game, in addition to just hitting things or punching things or shooting things, you can use what are called interaction attacks. These, for the most part, will debuff your opponent on successes, which can be excellent. It means that you don't have to be someone that is particularly great at combat. You can still be just as effective. Or, for example, you go to a land that has very low magic and you don't want to cast a spell, you can still use intimidate or maneuver, and it's way to entice you to use those because you'll get a possibility point for using it. And let me tell you, possibility points, pretty awesome. So on this turn, on this round, if you use intimidate or maneuver, you'll gain a possibility point, and the heroes get to go first. Now, initiative in this game is straight up, you all determine what the order is. So you have 5 men in suits. They have blown out the glass doors and the glass wall of this office. Yoshida, no, oh my God, this is terrible. I'm looking it up one more time. Is someone taking notes? Some wonderful player?
I mean, I have VP Yoshida. That's all I have.
VP Yoshida. Okay, VP Yoshida hits the deck as the bullets fly. He jumps underneath his desk. He still looks confused and genuinely frightened. This is probably not what he had planned. And you all get to go first. So, what's the plan?
When you say maneuver, would
Mm.
maneuver be like something like, say, Salvo going on the other side of the desk and kicking it over to make a barrier?
Yes. So maneuver. Yes. So you have to kind of justify it like in game. Like tell me what you're doing. So the four interaction attacks are maneuver, trick. Someone help me out here. What are the rest of them? You have your
Taunt and intimidate.
Taunt and intimidate. Cool.
Mhm.
So maneuver. One moment. Yes, so it's like you feint them, you fake them, you outmaneuver or tire out an opponent. That's the concept of maneuver.
Okay, well, I'm going to try to do that by hopping on the other side of his desk because it's cover while pulling out my
Sure.
trusted
Let's say-
baby Freedom.
Look, can we say the desk is on the other side of the room and you sprint across it and the enemies like shoot their M4s, but you're just too fast. You're just too fast. They can't shoot you with their bullets. They get tired trying to take aim at you. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to draw their fire, and as I say that, or do that, I'm going to look back at the VP and be like, looks like the free market's trying to free itself.
Very nice. Okay. Let us. Oh, Amber, did you
Yeah, I
have
was
something?
have a question. Is like Pan Pacific? That's where we're at right now, correct?
mhm.
What's the magic here?
The magic is 4.
So I don't want to disconnect.
So if you roll a 1 through 4, then you run the risk of disconnecting because you, as an Islander, I guess so,
yep. Mhm.
also have like a high magic COSM that this
Okay.
is below.
Now, do I need to roll maneuver?
So we'll get to that in a second. Just
okay,
Amber, do you have another question?
Okay, that's it. That was it. Just wanted to know what the magic.
Okay, yes. So that is correct. We are rolling maneuver. Let's talk about how rolls work in this game. Everyone has defenses that are directly based on their core attributes or bonuses they may or may not have. So what you want to do is you want to roll a d20, okay? And the result of that will be added to your maneuver total. So what is your maneuver total right now?
My maneuver total is 10.
So actually, if you click on maneuver in Roll20 on your character sheet, it will do all the math for you.
Oh.
Awesome. So the D20, these values aren't 1-to-1. It's actually based on a chart. If you roll under a 10 in this game, you're actually probably going to come up with a negative, and it's going to be a minus to your total. So you roll the D20 and then you add whatever the bonus would be to your base score. In this case, Salvo, your base maneuver value is 10.
Mm-hmm.
You rolled a 9, which unfortunately is a -1 bonus. Now, you would have to meet your opponent's maneuver defense, which thankfully is only an 8. These are simple opponents wearing black suits. Oh yeah, also black suits, just like me. Ha ha ha. I'm a bad guy. I'm the DM. That's what you want to hear as players.
Their
So
undershirts are still red.
you have hit with a maneuver, 1 maneuver. So that means you can do one of 2 things. You can stymie your opponent, or you can make them vulnerable. So who are you targeting, by the way? Like I mentioned, there are 4 kind of regular guys, and then one is wearing, he's got a Glock. He's got a tattoo around his neck that says ice cold. And he looks like the leader, basically.
Well, I think I'm going to try to melt his resolve and stymie him.
Yes, so stymie means that he gets a negative on his attacks. Vulnerable means everybody else gets a bonus against him on their attacks.
Well, then I'm gonna make him vulnerable.
Okay, so everybody gets a +2 bonus to their rolls when they attack ice cold. Make a note of that. And that lasts to the end of his next turn, or of his turn, so it doesn't go away immediately. Everybody will get to act and use that. Cool. Does that make sense, everyone, for rolling and hitting?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just a little bit more. Most guns have a base damage value. So, for example, a pistol might be 13. Most strength melee weapons have a base value bonus, so you add like to your strength. The idea being your strength is the momentum. You know, if it's super sharp, it might be a +3. If it's more blunt, it might be a +2, kind of a deal. And your unarmed attacks are just your strength. That's the damage for those. We'll get to that when we get a hit. So, who would like to go next? Also, that was excellent use of first turn. Usually, it's best to debuff an opponent before everybody else goes.
Yeah.
Who would like to go next?
I was thinking I would like to also try to do intimidation.
Okay.
And
that's right. I'm
yeah.
sorry. Just Pruitt, you get a possibility point. That means you have 4 now.
Nice. So since it's a low magic area, I'm kind of nervous about using magic
Sure.
now. And so all I've got is knowing that we're getting into a fight. This is brought to life Cypress, who has been basically snoozing while the VP was talking. And will
But it was so interesting. That monologue he gave was so interesting, wasn't it?
Just snoozing.
You weren't in okay.
Nodding off there. So he will, or they will jump up and will run at, and they're just gonna yell like a cowboy yeehaw.
Sure.
Like, cow. But I want to roll first before I do the actual yelling.
Okay. Oh, good. No, you have to do the yelling regardless. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
yes, I will-
and if
I
you
will-
roll
I-
bad, you
yeah.
have to do a bad yell.
I will do a bad yell.
Okay, great.
So I just clicked intimidate.
Yep.
Correct. No, there's no modifier right now or anything.
Well, you get that +2. Yeah,
is it-
that's
is it
Are
anything?
you also targeting ice cold or one of the other?
So there's a group of 5 men.
So
and then
four
there's
four of them,
4.
and then ice cold is number 5.
The one who's in charge, so ice cold.
Yeah,
Okay, let's do that guy. Okay, so then +2.
+2.
Okay, jeez. How does this work?
Oh no, Amber, you
does
rolled
this mean?
even worse.
What?
So you rolled a 2, which
Oh.
on our chart, a 2 is actually the equivalent of a -8, which is pretty significant. Now, if that had been a magic spell, you would have disconnected.
Yeah, so good thing. So the yell just sounds like ah.
What are we yodeling now?
He is not
Yeah.
impressed. He is not intimidated by that. I forgot something else. Thank you, Salvo, for reminding me. In addition to the drama cards and the COSM cards we've gone over before, every player also gets cards from the Destiny deck. Now, these are bonuses that can add to your rolls. They can add damage. They're really neat, and there are a lot of kind of metagame things that they make the player stronger. Right now, everyone has 4 of those cards in their pool. Now, once combat begins, at the end of your turn, you move 1 card each round from your pool into your hand, and you can use any card in your hand at any time. Sometimes there are stipulations, as long as you meet those stipulations. So, Salvo and Cypress, you now can move 1 of your Destiny cards from your pool to your hand. And if you want, you can even play them, and I'm excited to see those played.
Question.
Yes.
I have a card called Reality Surge.
Whoa.
When played, the character's axioms and world laws are in effect for him as if he were in a mix zone for the remainder of the scene.
Okay, so that reduces it to just 1. Now, if you just roll a 1 on,
cool.
you will possibly get disconnected.
Okay. All right. So I would like to play that.
Okay, yeah, that's played. Okay, so now Cypress, you feel there's magic bordering the world of Pan Pacifica, and you reach out to long distances, maybe even back to Isle, your homeland, and you pull the magic. You can't get it all within you, but you get some, and you feel more confident in your casting ability here in a world you're not familiar with. Awesome. Salvo, do you have anything, or you're just getting ready to use it?
I have an action card.
Okay, cool. So you can hold that and play it on your next turn, on someone else's turn, whenever you want.
Cool.
Who's gonna go next, Beck or Flick?
I'm gonna be honest. Flick doesn't. Men in suits do not interest her. This.
The briefcase
suitcase,
is still on the table. No one grabbed it in all the
Flick
ruckus.
would like to grab it and try to hide.
Sure. Cool.
That is her play. That is what she's good at. Plus, I want to check out this glove.
So,
yeah.
I forgot to mention, on your turn, you're allowed to move and do an action. So that would be attack. It would be an interaction attack, what have you. Sometimes
Can I just do a like look over there, and then like throw their distraction for
Sure.
the 4 guys one direction, and I'm gonna grab it and run.
That sounds like a trick if I ever heard it. That's a
That's
classic. That's the oldest
What
trick
I
in the
thought.
book, I
That
think.
is the oldest trick in the book, yeah, other than pull my finger here. Okay.
Oh, I can't wait for pull my finger to come up
And
and play.
I don't and I don't have any bonuses against them for this.
So
I wanna make
you do. That +2 is still in effect. That
But is it over the other guys, or is it
Oh, I'm sorry. You're going
it's-
against the group of guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna go against the
Okay,
kind of
cool.
group of them to try to make them all look.
Nice.
Hey.
13. Yes. So that is a success. And these guys have low trick. Let's talk about various levels of success in this game. So the base success for most things is a 10. That's like the normal challenge for things. If you roll 1 to 5 over the base. Wait. Okay. If you roll. Okay. Every attempt at something has a difficulty number. Okay, 10 is the base, but it might be higher depending on how difficult it is. If you roll 0 to 4 over that difficulty number, then it's a success. Great job. If you roll 5 to 9 over that difficulty number, then it's a good success, and it means you'll get bonus damage on an attack. You'll, I don't know, cause some other action to happen to an enemy. If you roll 10 over the difficulty number, it's called an outstanding success, which is very similar to like a crit in another game. And you get even more bonus dice, even more things. You actually can take narrative control in a lot of ways for these interaction attacks. So in this case, Flick, you rolled 5 over the armor level, the trick armor level of your opponents. So you get to stymie. You can stymie them. You can vulnerable them, or you can double either.
Stymie is the one where they take negative. They
Yes.
take a negative when you.
Stymie
I'd
means
like to stymie them. They seem like a bunch of I don't know. In my head, they're 3 Stooges. So I'm
Sure.
like, ugh! And so they're just kind of off kilter, looking for something that's not there. Maybe the rest of the scene, so they'll take negatives too.
Do you want to double stymie them? That means it becomes a -4 on their rolls.
How does one double stymie?
So as a good, you get 2 things you can do to
Oh
them.
yes, let's double
Yes,
stymie
and you can
them.
double up on them. All right,
Yeah,
they will
absolutely.
have a -4 on any actions they make, which will be after Beck's turn. Beck with the baseball bat.
Yeah, I think Beck was in a similar place through this entire like pitch. She was probably just like halfway through it, just started looking outside. And now that there's things here, she all smiles and says, "Well, now we're at the interesting part of this sales pitch, I guess." She'll stand up, point her baseball bat at Ice Cold. "You there, Ice Cold, huh? Bit of a hot streak." And she'll run at him. "Batter's up." And send that thing. We have a +2 on him, correct?
Yes, +2.
Modifier 2.
Bam.
11. Ooh.
Oh, well, you know what? That's still enough. Plus, let's talk about those possibility points that I mentioned earlier. So, as I mentioned, as we talked about, that pesky D20 in this game isn't always your friend. If you want, you can spend a possibility points and roll another D20 and add that result to your initial result. And also, on your possibility points, if you roll above a 10, that value jumps back up to 10. So you'll never get a negative on a possibility point roll. Also, one other thing I forgot to mention, 10s and 20s explode in this game. So if you roll a 10 or a 20, you get to roll again, which means things can get real crazy. Things can get real crazy if you're rolling high.
I like crazy.
Crazy.
Get crazy in here.
So you definitely hit, Shona, but if you want to roll again, you can possibly get a good or an outstanding success and do even more damage with your baseball bat.
You know what? Let's try it out. Let's spend
Let's
that
do
possibility.
it. Possibility point. First spend of the game. Yay!
Please hit the
Yeah, so click the
button.
possibility button, and then it'll ask you what your previous roll is, and it was a 3, and then it'll add to that 3. Wow, you are
So put a 3 in the input value, correct?
not in that one. It's
Modifier. Okay, the one coming up.
I forgot. Yeah, I think so. It has previous roll.
Oh, okay. Good. All right, there we go.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
Oh dear.
Oh
my God.
And we got it. Oh my
My
goodness.
God.
You rolled a
Oh.
20 and a 10, which means you exploded twice.
Holy crap.
Your new result is 30. It's definitely 2 bonus dice. I don't remember. I'm trying to remember if you can get even more bonus dice for rolling even higher. I think we're gonna just stick with 2 bonus dice for
That's
now.
ridiculous.
Oh boy. Okay.
So, your baseball bat damage is what?
10 as a base.
10 as a base, and then roll 2d6. And now, also, I should note that these d6s can explode as well.
Mhm.
So if you roll a 6, it gives you 5 damage, and then you re-roll. So let's see if things are going to get crazy, everybody.
All right, let's do it. 3 and a 2,
Things
5.
did not get crazy this time
Not
around.
quite.
But that's still okay. That's still
Mhm.
okay. So that's 5 additional damage on top of the initial. I'm sorry, what would you say it was?
10.
10. So your total is 15 damage.
Mhm.
Everyone in this game is tough. You know what I mean? Everyone's tough. You got a toughness level. Toughness usually is from your strength. If you're wearing armor, that will add to your toughness. So you have 15 damage, but Ice Cold's toughness is 12. He's wearing oh right. You can, as you hit him with your baseball bat, you hear a thunk. It feels like it wasn't just his chest you hit. There might be some sort of body armor he's wearing underneath his suit, which means we're going to deduct his toughness of 12 from your damage of 15. So you have done 3 on the damage chart. We have the damage chart in front of us here. Shauna, what is a 3 equivalent to?
3 is going to
2 shock.
2 shock.
Let us now talk about our health pools in TORG Eternity. You have 2 health pools, shock and wounds. Shock began because, again, you are all heroes. You've been around the block. You've been in some scuffles in your day. You know that in the course of a fight, you're going to get some minor wounds. There'll be scratches. Maybe, someone hits you with a little fireball. You get singed a little, but it isn't that bad. If you take up to your total shock, you'll be knocked unconscious. You're just knocked out. You're taking a quick nap. Your friends can wake you up. You can get, at the end of combat, you'll get back up, kind of wipe yourself off, and be good to go again. However, the other health pool is called wounds. Now, these are significant hits, significant hurts. You might get shot in the shoulder or the leg. You might take a sword to the arm, an arrow to the knee. You only have 3 of those. If you take all 3 of your wounds, you are knocked unconscious, and you have to roll to see if you are defeated, which is a pleasant way to say killed. It takes a lot to hit someone with a wound. It takes a 3, as Shauna has showed us, or a 1 or a 0 to hit someone with shock, or negative, actually, to hit someone with shock. So the shock is going to build. It's going to build. It's going to build. Hopefully you meet their total health for shock. The wounds are when you hit them big and hard, and you can even one-shot them. That's why these destiny cards are so important. A lot of times it's like, add another possibility for free. Add damage on top of that. You can all really combo up a great attack to make it really, really hurt someone. Okay? Great. Now, we are going to have our villains go, starting with villain number 1, who levels his M4 at Salvo. Where are my villains? Here we are. Oh, no. Okay. Salvo. Your dodge is your defense against bullets.
Mm.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
Does. Oh, and these are all at huge negative thanks to
Negative.
Flick. Does a 12 hit your dodge defense?
I'm just too quick. My dodge is 13.
Just too quick. They're kind of like Three Stooges with M4s we got going on. They're just bullets are ringing. The windows facing outside to Kyoto also shatter and glass drops 97 stories. Dear God, on some very unfortunate people below. This is facing there's like a car park below. No one's out walking. No one's out and about.
I only have
fine.
10 meters of rope.
Exactly. But that's a miss that you nimbly dodge out of the way. The next one takes aim at Cypress. You think you can yell? Here's a yell, he says, and he goes,
Oh God.
Does a 6 hit your dodge?
What happens if it's a tie?
Oh, hit or miss. So meets it, beats it. So that is a hit.
Thank
All right, he goes, oh! It's not an impressive yell, but it's enough because, yeah, it's bullets. Okay, so you take 13 damage.
Oh, I thought you meant the tie went to me, but I guess not. Okay.
No. If it hits your DN, then you're hit.
Oh Lord. Okay.
So
How
what
much?
is your toughness?
Good question. No. 6.
6. So 13 minus 6, 7. You take 1 wound, 2 shock.
Got it.
First wound of the game. Whoop, 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 whoop. It happens. The next one is also going to shoot at Salvo. He is going to, again, with that negative, that big negative. Does a 0 hit you? Nope, it doesn't. His bullets
Divide by 0.
His bullets go way wide and fly off into the distance. And the last regular guy is going to shoot at our NPC who is hiding under his desk. VP Yoshida. I definitely didn't look that up. I knew it off the top of my head. Ooh, okay. And he misses as well. Again, his bullets go wide. Just, again, wow, that stymieing was so helpful. That -4 really, really helped out. So you can be super effective, even if you're not shooting or smacking. All right, now it's Ice Cold's turn. Now, I believe, were you engaged with Ice Cold hand to hand? Shauna was. Yeah. Okay, so he's going to he's going to drop his pistol, and he is going to attempt to punch you. You see, he's wearing brass knuckles, and on one it says ice, and on the other it says cold, like lettered into them. And he's like, everybody's going to know who beat you up. And then he punches you with both hands simultaneously, which I believe is called the undodgeable strike.
Gotta respect the branding on this.
Yeah, he's very into being called ice cold. This is gonna be close. So this is against your unarmed. Oh, he rolled a nat 20. Does a 13 hit you? Oh, it doesn't. Wow, that is some good. You're wearing armor, right?
Wow.
Okay, and my melee is my unarmed defense. Yeah, it's
exactly. So if you're being attacked with, so we have different defenses for getting shot at. We have different defenses if you're fighting with melee weapons, and we have different defenses if you are unarmed. And clearly, you are very good at fighting. Beck can battle. That's what they say. Beck can battle with her bat. We love alliteration. Okay. That is the end of the villain's turn then, which means that we now... Oh, everybody be sure to move one of your Destiny cards over as well, if you haven't done so.
Yep.
We are moving on to the next card in the drama deck. The next card of initiative. The next card, we will find out what... Okie doke. So...
Oh, no.
You're driven back by your enemies. Oh, no. In this case, the interactive abilities or the combat abilities that will grant you a possibility point are defend and maneuver. So the enemies get to go first, and on this turn, they have inspiration. What does that mean, you ask? Let me tell you. Let me let me tell you. Inspiration means, I believe they regain 2 shock.
Ooh.
All characters on this sign immediately recover 2 shock. Okay. In this case, I believe the only person that was hit was Ice Cold. So he took 2 shock. So now Ice Cold, he, having his on-brand brass knuckles really invigorates him and reminds him why he got into this kind of work. And he shakes off the the hit that you gave him earlier. And it is their turn. And Ice Cold, with this new inspiring attack, is going to try to punch you once again. Beck does. And his negative modifiers are gone. Does a 7 hit your unarmed or your melee defense?
No. Nope.
No.
Nope.
Not surprised. Ice Cold. Not effective in combat against Beck. Enemy number 1 is going to shoot his M4 at Salvo. Does a 8 hit your dodge?
Not at all. He's zigzagging.
Next one. Does a 14 hit your dodge?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
I
Okay.
zagged when I should have zigged.
You zag when you should have. Well, what is your toughness, sir?
My toughness is 14.
14. So you actually take no damage because the M4's base damage is 13, and that is enough to soak all of that damage and let it go. Note to Rudy, Salvo has high toughness.
See the bullets
Big
like
enemies.
dent in his stomach, and he kind of like shakes the flag loose, and they just kind of wave, and the bullets fall to the ground.
Yeah, it's an outline of an eagle goes across your very cool. Salvo has high toughness. Give enemies better guns. Cool. Next up is another one. He's going to shoot at VP Yoshida. Pew, 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 pew. He misses. Last one's also going to shoot at Yoshida. He also misses. Wow, not great rolls on these black suited men. Heroes, it's your turn. Who would like to go first? What
Did
would you
Ice
like
Cold
to do?
go? Or is he in
Ice Cold did. He tried to throw down with Beck. He is not winning that throwdown.
Great, so then I'll sit on that. Okay. I have an idea. I run off with the case. This is a corporate, like, skyscraper building, right?
Yes. Oh, flashback. Quinn Sebastian. Yeah, so we got these new kind of shirt things that have parachutes built into them. I guess all you can have one of those. Flashback to now.
Great. There's gotta be a fire alarm in this building that'll set off the sprinkler system, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like slide over with the case under my arm and I pull the fire alarm so water starts like pouring out.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll send off the sprinkler system because it's not an action sequence without a little bit of water on the floor.
Waters are going off. Klaxons and alarms begin ringing throughout the building.
Yeah, and then I position myself off the floor, maybe on a chair or something like that, near the window where I'm gonna jump.
Okay. Yeah. You hop on a fancy squishy chair, fancy corporate squishy chair.
I imagine I'm like holding myself in this case in a squishy chair in the middle of this action sequence. That is my character in a nutshell, and it's raining water from the ceiling. Yeah.
Awesome. Who would like to go next of the heroes? Move another card, Dot, from your pool to your hand. Amber?
Yeah, I was like, as soon as the water starts pouring down, Cypress like puts his like hands that are starting to glow away, like, all right, no fireball. I'm gonna try and cast a spell. I would like to take one of my lollipops out of my mouth and shoot it like a bullet.
Wow.
That's
ice
cool.
cold. So let's try magic.
Let's try magic. What is this?
bullet.
What is this skill that you're using? I know.
So bullet uses, I think it's apportation. Apportation.
Apportation. Yes.
Yep.
That's a word I've never seen before.
Let's click the bullet and submit.
Who are you shooting at?
Ice cold.
Ice cold.
And they need
So
to do dodge or dexterity.
that is going to miss his dodge defense, but you can always spend a possibility point.
Yes, I would like to possibility.
Yeah.
So modifier input 0, right?
That's still
And then
0, and then it
last
asks for your last roll, which was a big old 3.
3. So submit. Is that 16?
Yeah,
now?
16. That'll hit, definitely.
Okay. Yep.
So what is the damage
The
on
damage
bullet?
is
This
13.
magical spell.
As
13.
Standard success is a 13.
13. Okay, and his armor is ice cold. His toughness is 12.
Okay.
So he takes 1, which will again give him 2 shock, just like the baseball bat did.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Can I do a support card right now? Like card
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
like
yeah,
to
yeah.
support who so the supporter card says play to add +3 to any other character's total.
Okay, so you can do that after they roll too.
All right. So just
you can
letting you
hold on
know
to that.
whoever is
Yeah.
doing that, we can use I can play
Nice.
that for you.
So and then you can you can like play that on someone who's already possibility to try to get more bonus dice. There's lots of options.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Who would like to go next?
I can go.
Okay.
Yeah, so she was that baseball that hit wasn't necessarily as good. It's like, oh, ice cold. Too slow, huh?
Ah!
But then she'll do some taunting like blows, like get him, like just tap him a little bit on the side of the head and like kind of turn and then look at Salvo and kind of wink at him. So I'm gonna do a maneuver
Okay.
to make him try and make him vulnerable, make sure he doesn't see
Sure.
this next attack.
So he's swinging left and right, and you're just too fast. You're
Mhm.
moving out of the way of every single one of his hits, and he's just like noticeably becoming tired.
Mm-hmm. So you have to. Is that a maneuver roll for that?
Yes, maneuver
Yes,
roll. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that one? Yeah, that's one of our bonuses this round too.
Yeah.
Bam.
16.
That's going to be a hit, and that is actually going to be a good success, which means you get to use 2 things. You can double stymie and double vulnerable, or you can do one of each.
Oh, let's double vulnerable. Let's make this hit. hurt.
Nice. Okay, so that means that you will get a +4 salvo if you choose to attack against ice cold.
Well,
Mm.
seeing as that is my cue, Mr.
Yes.
DeVille.
Classic team up here. Classic team up.
Salvo notices the gunmen that are going for the VP, and that's when he yells out, "Looks like this is a hit job," as he comes forward, fist bare, and you hear his knuckles cracking as they move through the air. And I'm not even gonna wait. I have this action card to give me +3, so that's gonna go on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna go ahead and use a possibility point too.
Oh my goodness. You can roll then declare all this stuff. But
Okay. Now come on, computer.
Mhm.
It's I have way too much going on here. Unarmed combat. Let's roll it. All right. So that's an 11. I got
That's
a
an
+4.
Okay.
I'm using my +3. So that's going to be 15, 18.
Why do you have +4? Tell us why you have +4.
Vulnerable.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. Yep, my bad.
He's vulnerable, so that brings that to a 15. I'm going to
Yeah.
use my card to bring it to an 18.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use a possibility point.
1 second. Grant, do we
Yeah.
have ruling on whether or not they can get more than 2 bonus dice on that? Were you able to find that out? Okay, I would like to just check that too, because I don't want you to spend possibility points if it's not. You're already at 2 bonus dice. This is an outstanding success. You've gone 10 over.
Oh, well then.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't want you to waste. But if
Oh.
you can do even more damage, then and do even more dice, then that's pretty fun too.
Well, then I'll save that possibility point for later.
Yeah.
And,
all right.
so-
We'll figure that out. And in the meantime, you get to roll. What is your base damage for strength for unarmed attacks?
My base damage.
So unarmed, it's just straight strength, whatever your strength is.
My strength is 11.
Okay, so you do 11 damage, and now you get to roll 2d6.
Come on. Oh, my computer's just got too much going on here. So it's an extra.
An extra 6. So it becomes a
17.
17. Okay, so you do 1 wound, 2 shock to him.
Okay.
He reels back from this massive, from across the room punch that you delivered to him. It like your fist whistles in the air, and also it starts to crack in the air. So it's like lightning and thunder at the same time. Everyone knows lightning sounds like whistling. So there you go, both at the same time. Or thunder. Neither of those sound like whistling. Doesn't matter. That's what
It
everyone
does in
thinks.
this game.
It does in this world. This is Torg Eternity. Pan Pacifica. Lightning sounds like whistling. It is much less frightening. Okay. That is the end then of this turn. Oh man, he's not looking great.
I'm going to play this card, the Nemesis card.
Okay.
And you can have a look at that because
read it out loud.
Oh crap! Now I made it.
Where'd it go?
I played it, so now it's hiding behind.
It's over there on the right.
It's on the far right.
Nemesis.
There it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's make it big.
So,
play to make a particular reality-rated character a personal enemy of your Storm Knight. You and your foe both gain 3 possibilities.
Damn.
Alternatively, discard for a possibility and draw a new card. Which of those would you like to do?
I mean, I love the idea of this ice cold guy being our nemesis.
I'm game for that. The puns alone make it worth it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like ice cold, you need to chill out.
So ice cold now gains 3 possibilities, and you now gain 3 more possibilities. That's a lot of possibilities.
Should we like high five in front of him just to make him like super mad?
Just swing around like on Predator.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have close friends too, and then that is everything. Does anyone have any other cards that make them go again or change the way initiative works or anything like that? Those cards do exist in this game. So
yes, I have one, but I don't. This is not a great drama card for us, so I don't want to keep it.
So you can hold it. We will replenish. You will always have 4 cards at the end of combat. Like you will draw back up to 4 at the end of combat. So you can hold it if you want. You can also replace cards at the end of combat too.
Okay.
Just to let you know. So you'll get, if you want to hold it, awesome. If you want to spend it, awesome.
Yeah, it's just like I don't want to keep this drama card, which is what the card does.
Oh yeah, okay, sure.
The actual it's not a great drama card for us. I want to spend it on.
Move on though. Breakthrough.
Oh.
Which means heroes get the up benefit, which
now
is huge. Up. Each character on that side gets an additional roll. You add it to your first roll. It's like a possibility point for free, essentially. And you can also spend another possibility point on top of it.
So that one you can double. Okay, this is so perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
So heroes go first. Taunt is our interaction attack that will grant you a possibility. But it is now your turn. Who would like to go first?
I don't know if it's an action, but Flick just says, you're not going to want to be on the ground.
Talking is a free action.
Great. She says that out loud. Through the pouring water.
So there is a conference table in the middle of the room. There is that fancy desk. It's like a coffee conference table. It's kind of low to the ground. There is the desk, which VP Yoshida is hiding underneath. There is a number of chairs throughout the room that you could stand on that are made of kind of like, steel and cushiony stuff that is not conductive to electricity, I'll say. So whoever wants to do whatever, let's hear it.
What's the most creative way to combo this guy between Beck and Salvo? I mean, I sort of with as much water that is on the floor now, want to try to punch him over where he starts sliding towards one of the chairs, and then we like leap off of him and onto the chairs. Okay.
So let's talk about multi-actions, which are a thing that you can do in this game.
That's cool.
Right now, we've been just doing 1 action per turn. If you want, you can do multiple things, but you'll take a -2 for both of them. You can even continue doing things, and you'll take a -4, and so on and so forth.
Now seems
Obviously,
like the right time. You got all those bonuses
it
and that
makes-
extra die.
sure. Yeah. Now when you're upping, everyone's upped. Absolutely great point. This is a perfect time to kick someone in the face and then jump out the window and parachute away if you want, or yeah, whatever.
We're jumping out the window.
Mm.
That's
Okay.
happening.
Well, then, yeah, that's what Salvo's going to do. He's going to have a parting shot just to break the ice and just walk out and then slide backwards on the ground because it's all wet and just like slide out the building.
Slide like a slip and slide.
Yeah.
You slip and slide out the.
I'm going to punch
97
him so
story-
hard
the
that I
97
start
story.
sliding backwards. Because for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So,
This is brilliant.
I love it. All right.
yeah. So that's what Salvo's doing.
Okay. So, okay, cool. Go ahead and roll your punch attack or kick attack or melee attack. And remember, you've got that -2. But after you roll, you'll see there's an up button on this wonderful Roll20 add-on that we have that everyone else
Oh,
can
yeah.
probably get that does
Yeah.
so much of the heavy lifting for you. Cannot
Yes.
recommend it enough, including giving you all of the cards and all of this wonderful artwork
Yep.
that I really love.
Okay. And I seriously need to close some programs.
Ah,
I just need to click submit. There we go.
there we
So-
go.
So we need to do -2. So we're
Okay.
down to 14.
So 14, that is still going to hit, but
here's my
so-
up.
put your up on that. Yeah, up. Ooh.
Oh,
there's
last roll was 16, right?
18.
the last roll was 6. No, last roll. Oh yeah, it was 16. Yes, your roll and
Okay.
your result were
Oh, okay.
okay.
Ooh,
All right.
So
look at that.
yikes.
So do I need to roll another possibility?
No,
My-
you don't.
yeah.
So that is your hit on him. That will give you. Yeah, that'll give you 2 bonus dice on top of your base damage, which we said was. I'm gonna write down base damages so I don't forget. Salvo's
Base damage is 11.
Salvo's base damage is 11. So roll 2d6 on top of that. Hey, we got a 6. Roll again.
Nice.
So we've got 7 damage.
11 plus 8, so we're up to 19.
So it's
and-
actually 7 because 6s are only worth 5, but you re-roll them.
Right.
Gotcha. So that's another
10.
10 then. So 21.
20 damage.
Oh, okay.
His toughness absorbs some of it, but this is going to be enough to knock him unconscious. Now, do you want to kill him or do you want to see Ice Cold again in the future, your newly chosen nemesis?
Well, I don't kill unless I have to.
Nice. Good rule.
And so, yeah, he just like you hear a crack as Ice's jaw shatters like the glaciers of Antarctica in my home world. And you see his jaw kind of sluice off to the side as he goes to the ground. And we both like
So-
slide back together
Yes.
as he falls back. I fall back and I hit the ground and slide backwards
Your hit-
and fly the bird as I slide out the window.
Your hit causes so much momentum that he goes flying backwards out of the water that's currently puddling on the ground into another room. And he smashes into there's like a little break room and he knocks over a big pot of coffee and it spills
Mhm.
all over the place. Oh, wasted coffee. Terrible. Good looking coffee too. All
Now
right.
it's now it's iced coffee.
And then and then so for your second action, why don't you you know what? We don't have to do that. It's not an action to just pull the ripcord on your parachute as you're free falling. So you do that automatically. Wow. What a way to knock out your nemesis. Who would like to go next?
I
I can't drop any electricity till everybody's not
Yeah.
is on something. So I'm like waiting. You can see I've got the
Mhm.
taser in my hand.
Is just jumping up on a table like a free thing I can
Yeah, that will
do?
go. I would like to
Okay.
do that in your
Oh,
movement.
like,
Perfect. If everybody's on a piece of furniture and I see that, I'll go ahead and drop the taser into the water where the rest of the men are kind of like standing.
Cool.
Let's
Let's get kind of fun here. Let's try so the taser attack, but let's see. Do you have points in science?
I do have a point in science.
So I will let you use science if you wish instead of your
I don't know which would be
taser
better.
attack.
I think okay, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Science. And you have
Science.
that up still. Oh my
Boom.
goodness. You rolled a natural 20. And
Science is better than
science
weapons.
is pretty amazing. And then you can roll the up as well on
Right,
top of
because right. Did I do that right?
that. Did you add your last? I don't think you added your last.
Oh, I didn't
roll
last
in.
my last roll. So
Yes.
no,
So your last roll
the
was
last roll was
29.
29. Oops, nope, that's I know numbers.
Mhm.
Let's try that again. There you go.
Oh, okay. So actually that that actually deducted because you rolled low. So like I said, possibilities will always, it didn't deduct, but it could have. Possibilities are always a 10, ups are not. You take the second number no matter what. So it doesn't, like you rolled a 1,
So in this case, it just went to a 30.
it just went to a 30.
That's
It didn't
fine.
go to
Yeah.
a 39 like it
Right,
would have if it was a
like it would
possibility.
have, yeah.
But that's still an awesome result. I would say an outstanding result. I would be happy to give you narrative control over what happens and what happens to these 4 kind of, red shirt equivalent businessmen, even though they're wearing white shirts with beautiful black suits. What happens to these 4 guys?
What happened? I imagine that it's like because it's probably like a prod, like the prod comes out or whatever of the taser onto the ground and like toss the whole thing and they and they electrify and I guess I push my rolly chair. I ride the rolly chair out the window holding the briefcase as I go and I'm like, jump for it.
Yeah. In like a random part of his office, there's an ornamental katana still in the scabbard, so you can pick that up and kind of paddle your way to the edge with the rolly chair.
With the rolly chair. Yeah. You know what? This man who screwed us over, he can just deal with his own problems. I was gonna grab him. I don't think I'm gonna do that anymore. I row past him.
Sure.
And I stick my tongue out.
Make sure we grab our orb.
Yeah, bye. Oh yeah.
So
I have all the suitcases.
You've got both
but
of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Great. These dudes are fried. They're out of the fight. So Beck and Cypress, it's just you and the remaining VP Yoshida, who was able to not get totally fried from the taser. He was able to stick around, but
Right.
what do you want to do? Just
So-
exit or
Yeah, I'm gonna run across the coffee table, conference table, and then turn around, look at Mr. Yoshida, and say "Sayonara," and then jump out from behind.
the backwards
Rip
free
cord.
fall? I
Yep.
love it. Beck.
Yeah, I think Beck's gonna run across the table, but I think at the last thing, she's gonna give him a nice kick before she jumps off.
Sure.
Yeah.
No roll needed. He goes as you kick him, and you jump over you jump off the side of the building as well. Everybody pulls their rip cords. There's a parking deck nearby where I believe Flick's kick-ass van is waiting for you.
I guess. Our
You
very
yeah.
stylish ride.
Nice. You land outside the van, hop in, and drive off to the border of the Pan Pacifica region, where you are picked up by a Delphi Council boat that is waiting for you, and you make your exit out of Pan Pacifica. Hooray! That is
Mission
the end of
complete.
our prologue, which we would say is an act. So great job, everybody. So now we get to talk about our cards. If you have less than 4 cards, you can just pull them from the Destiny deck, which this game, actually, you can do it yourself with the cards on the right through Roll20. If you'd like, you can discard one of your cards and draw a new card as well if
Oh,
you don't
really?
like what you have. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Yeah, I have
There's
a
no
card
martyrs
tonight.
here. I
Oh.
am not. Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
A martyr.
Actually, I assume it means you had a card named Martyr.
I have a card named Martyrs.
Okay,
to
I
play.
was right.
Yeah. To achieve a significant goal, your character perishes in the process.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That is quite the card.
Yeah, that's like a sit on
Yikes.
that till the end kind of a thing. So,
Yeah.
but we can choose not to exchange all the cards, right?
Sure, you can keep what you have, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you like what you have, hold on
I
to
have
it.
this glory card that says play after a die roll of 60 plus.
Me too.
Whoa.
Okay. I think I'm gonna get rid of this one.
Yeah, I've seen that one. It gives you like a crazy bonus, but so there are 60 cards in the Destiny deck as is, just so everyone knows. And there are a few doubles for things like, +3, those kind of action surge cards.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But those rare ones, like Perish or Martyr or whatever, those are lone super
Is there
cards,
a
I guess.
discard pile, or how do I?
Just drag it onto the board and we'll delete it, and
Okay.
that'll do.
All right.
Great.
Sweet.
So I need to draw 2. So we draw up to 4 again.
Yeah, draw 4 total. Yeah,
Excellent.
cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, oh.
We're drawing drama cards, right?
Nope, drawing Destiny cards from the Destiny deck. It's the one at the top.
How come I'm not getting the little drop down for that?
I don't know. I'll deal you cards. How many do you have right now? 3?
I have 1.
You have 1? Oh, okay. I'll give you 3 then. Bam.
I get.
Everyone else good?
Yeah.
You can trade cards now too if you want. Remember, you have to trade 1 for 1. You can't just give somebody cards, but I don't know. Think about it. Look at your hand. Think about what your fellows are capable of and whether or not you think it'd be good for them. It's up to you. Okay. Let us continue on then with our story. As your I almost forgot that. As your boat is riding off into the sunset, there's some real kick-ass music, and then it fades out. Fade back in. Once again, you are in Quinn Sebastian's office on the USS Ronald Reagan. Let's talk more about the world of Torg and who Quinn Sebastian is and who the Delphi Council are. So like I said, what did I say? 93 days ago, out of seemingly nowhere, 7 alternate realities invaded Earth, the Earth as we know it. Each one was led by a High Lord who were all working in conjunction. They had planned it. They were going to attack simultaneously. And within each world, everything changed. So, for example, in what used to be the eastern and western coasts of America, it is now a prehistoric tribal world where humans have kind of degraded back to low social hierarchies. Like I said, it's a lot of clans, it's a lot of tribes. There's not much economy. There's not like a real currency to everything. A lot of things are bartered and trade. The people within it began to change too. They weren't special. You all are special. You are Storm Knights. You are heroes. You are immune to those kinds of changes. Now, the items you may use and the spells you may cast are not immune to these kinds of things, which is what we were talking about earlier, Amber. You might disconnect from the reality that you're in if you're using things wrong. Salvo, if you're using a machine gun in the Living Land, then you might disconnect if you roll poorly and it might disappear or turn into a spear briefly. But you are special. And this man who's in charge of the Delphi Council, Quinn Sebastian, began gathering and looking for and meeting these special people around the planet. And he's kind of gathered them to help fight in a more resistance guerrilla movement against the High Lords that have taken over the planet in each one. Now, you were just on a special mission given by him to recover these 2 gauntlets, which we'll talk about in a moment and what they do. You've now returned and are waiting for your next mission outside of his office. He has a tenuous relationship with the United States. The military love him. He is like he's highly regarded, whether it be from his background as a mercenary working for them, or maybe he himself is ex-military. Not as a lot known about Quinn Sebastian's background, but they love him. And so they have kind of gone around the government and given him this office on the USS Reagan where he can continue to lead the Delphi Council and all of its activities. There's a moment where you're all sitting outside of his office, kind of like waiting room style, if you wanted to talk about the last mission, or let's go around and let's play memory lane. Let's talk about Reality Raiders 1 and 2, the previous films in this series.
Oh yeah.
Flick. Back in Reality Raiders 1, there was a moment where Salvo was in big trouble.
Yeah.
And you were the one that saved the day. You were the one that got him out of that trouble. What exactly was that again that happened?
Yeah. We'd infiltrated a building.
Yeah, down in Little China.
Yeah, down
Sure.
in Little China. And things didn't end so well. And he ended up having to escape through the sewers. But found himself a bit caught and stuck. And so Flick did the only thing she knew how to do, which is reroute the water flow in the sewers to flush him out. So I flushed him and all the bad guys out through the sewers.
Classic Flick maneuver.
Yeah. Classic
Love
Flick
it.
flush.
Classic Flick flush. Write it down. That's gonna be happening more in the future. All right. Pruitt. Or excuse me, Salvo.
Yeah.
Salvo. So you have been working now with Cypress, who is someone from another reality. They are from Isle, which is kind of that fantasy world that we were talking about earlier. Now, you are a core Earther. You are from Earth, as is Flick and Beck. Cypress has been fighting against these High Lords for a while now, and they knew that to help defeat them, they had to come to this world, and they had to aid the natives, Earthlings, the native people to it. What is something that you have learned from Cypress that you never would have thought of if not for them teaching it or telling you about it?
Well, I mean, he's always been one who is down to earth, grounded in reality. That's why his short stint with the WWF, it didn't go so well. He was a meta heel. He was screaming at the audience that this isn't real. What are you doing?
Oh, it's too early for that kind of heat. You know what I mean? Back in 1987, people weren't ready for that level.
They weren't ready for the truth. And he knew that the truth was out there. And so that's why when he discovered what Cypress can do, like there are these fantastical things that are possible. He's only just lived and died by his fists, liberty and justice. But
Liberty and Justice versus Ice and Cold. What a matchup that will be in the future. What a tag team matchup that will be in the future. Hey,
listen. The first time we met, Ice Cold got knocked out. Ice Cold.
Oh.
So I'm ready for the sequel. Anyway, but the value of magic, that there is something that can back him up. That's not just a strong arm. It taught him a lesson that meeting Cypress, that there are other possibilities and to take them all in.
Yeah, really shone a light on all the possibilities that are in the world, and then flamed hands.
Nice.
I want to learn that trick. Imagine these things on fire.
Maybe we can have that happen in the future. Cypress, one night you and Flick, who is underage, but you don't understand laws about that kind of thing in this world, were sharing a bottle of wine, and she revealed a secret to you that's not too crazy here, okay?
Okay, yeah.
What is the secret that she told you?
No, Rudy.
Okay, never mind. No,
it's good. Like, as long as if Flick wants to help me
with Dot's permission, of course.
Secret.
Secret.
I told you my real name.
Oh yeah, that'd be perfect.
It's embarrassing.
Oh,
it's super embarrassing.
It's like no.
Wait, let's keep it a secret for now.
I got it.
And let's keep that a secret for
now. Pull a Kill Bill.
I didn't actually have a name planned, so we can go whatever.
Cool. I got a really ridiculous one.
Okay, cool.
And finally, Beck. Who have I already matched two people. This is why you need to take notes as a dungeon master. Beck. One time you were in the middle of a crazy melee, and at the end of it, only you and Salvo were standing, and you turned to Salvo and you said your famous 2-person punch, or like your famous slogan. How did that slogan go again?
Hammer.
Anvil.
Oh, hammer and anvil. Great. And so you're all sitting outside the office of Quinn Sebastian, beaming, thinking about all your happy memories, when he calls you in. You handed over the briefcase and the orb back to him. He has them both on, or the orb is gone. He has the briefcase on his table. There are 2 other people in this room. One is a man who's dressed like he's out of like 1920s England. He's younger. He looks to be about in his 20s. And the other is a man in a black suit sitting in the corner on a chair holding a notepad. As you walk in, he looks up at you and smiles. And the other man in the 1920s clothes he nods and tips his bowler hat to you. Quinn calls you in, says, sit down. Great job. I'm very proud of all of you. So how do I put this? You got something really special with that last mission. These gauntlets are not just special gauntlets. Obviously, they look special. Look at them. They're crazy. They're part of a larger set of armor that we are calling, what are we calling in? He turns to his assistant, who was earlier, who is holding a notepad and looks up and says, the Eternity armor. And he kind of frowns at that. He's like, right, the Eternity armor. It's made up of 7 pieces. The gauntlets, the boots, the greaves, the helmet, the chest piece, the pauldrons, and the cape. From our understanding, each one of these is on a different COSM on our planet. Now, the thing that's special about each individual piece is that they are immune to axiom limitations. So if you utilize any of them and they do give you special abilities, you'll never have to worry about causing a contradiction, no matter where you are on the planet Earth. The real special thing is that if we get all of these parts together and someone wears the armor, it creates a bubble around the person. And that bubble is immune to the axiom limitations, which means we don't know how large the bubble is. We're doing research, but my God, if we can bring a tank into the living land, I mean, war's over tomorrow, as far as I'm concerned. It could be game changing. Let's talk about these 2 things we got here. This, and he touches the power glove, is the glove of power.
No.
The power-like looking glove is the glove of power. And he says,
Interesting.
it's actually really similar to that thing you got there. And he points to you, Flick. But the godlike figure running this didn't talk to you about it beforehand. And now we have 2 of them, but this one's slightly better. It gives you an additional
Mine
+1.
is literally made of like parts of old controllers. I probably take it off and throw it.
Yeah,
If this is like better, like.
It looks, it is sleek. It fits, it like forms to your hand immediately. It's like shiny. And in addition to what it does, which is similar to your Electro Ray stats, it gives you a +1, which is not a small thing in this game. Plus, I don't want to give you guys too much too soon. Now, this guy, and he points to the other glove, which again, it's in the form of a fist. It's got straps and a bracelet on it. To be honest, I'm a little scared of it. I'm not really sure what it does. Part of this meeting is me saying, Salvo, put this thing on. Does that sound okay?
Well, I mean, yeah, and he takes it and puts the gauntlet on.
Okay, as soon as you put it on, you hear a mind in your voice go, turn me on, turn me on, turn me on, turn me on, turn me on! And you feel like by just like focusing, you know something will happen. If you turn whatever this is on, something will happen.
Okay, well, there's no need to get like that. But I'm going to go ahead and turn you on because you're a trusting voice.
So your hand like disappears and a chainsaw shoots out of the bracelet, and now you can wield it around, and it says, "Yeah, Ash is happy." So now it's something you can turn on at any point. It's a chainsaw. It just has base chainsaw damages, but when you use a normal chainsaw in this game and you miss, you are vulnerable. Like you kind of overswing with a heavy weapon.
Mhm.
This is not the case because it's light, it's attached to your hand, you've learned the weight of it quickly, and you're able to just chainsaw people. Chainsaw is a base damage of 14, which is pretty high for a melee weapon. It actually doesn't get any bonus, like strength bonus, just because it's not like momentum doesn't really matter with a chainsaw. You just, touch someone with a chainsaw and it goes. So that's a thing you all have. Who has it? It's up to you. But these are the items you have. And Quinn Sebastian says, if you didn't bring this orb back to me, I probably could only give up one of these gauntlets. But because you succeeded outstandingly, one might say, I'll let you take both of them. Good job, heroes. Time for high fives. Any high fives each?
Can we high five gloves?
High five with the other one.
Oh, high five the gloves.
Oh wait, the
Salvo
non-chainsaw.
comes in with the chainsaw, like, oh wait, hang on.
Turn it off. Turn me off. Turn me off. Turn me off. Great.
Man.
It's a very informal. Quinn Sebastian's a very informal guy. Does anyone have any questions about these things? Or
No,
okay.
I don't have a question. This is so Flick. She was always the kid with a question. Not about the gloves.
Flick, question. What?
We are to retrieve the rest of the Eternity
Yes,
suit?
that is the
What was it?
Eternity. You both turn to the assistant who sighs and says, Eternity armor, it's a placeholder. Maybe we can find a new game.
Eternity armor.
Talk to some creatives about it. I thought it was catchy.
Kick-ass armor.
Kick-ass armor?
Kick it.
Mm.
All right, we'll work on the name. Not changing the movie title.
But more to the
you can call
point,
it whatever you want.
we need
Infinity
to-
armor?
No!
Is that too close?
Everyone in the room goes, no! Including the other characters you haven't been introduced yet.
So we just need to retrieve all of the pieces.
You make it sound very easy. I will say that getting the gauntlets will probably be the easiest thing that we have to do. Now, I have two gentlemen here from different COSMs that have some briefings for you about possible leads. The first is Duke, and the man with the bowler hat rolls his eyes and he says, Lord Reginald Farthing of the House Ultium. Right. What he said. Anyway, he and his friends were out gallivanting. My boon companions. They're not just my friends. Right. His boon companions. And Quinn Sebastian kind of, puts his squints and kind of does one of these because he seems pretty out of patience with Lord Reginald. And Cyprus, House Ultium. They're a minor house from Isle that are trying to they're like trying to rise up within the ranks
Minor
of
house.
minor house. Yeah, they're trying to rise up within the world, and they think coming over is going to be a big part of improving their standing and helping win the war. Right. So him and his boon companions were exploring in the underground in northern England, around the Liverpool area, what used to be Liverpool, that is. And they came across the crown. Is that accurate? He says, yes, that is a sufficient description of events. Great. So I need you all to go back, take him with you, escort him back to his home. Flick.
We retrieve things. We do not usually return them.
Well,
You said there'd be no escort missions.
I didn't say. I said that times. I mean, you're escorting him and protecting him from possible bandits and trolls and the like. Listen, I know this isn't your
Kind of a
normal.
fop.
Let me tell you about the other job we got here. All right, you're gonna have to
Yeah.
come back to this one eventually, but Let's talk about him.
we can save this one for later.
Listen, you're my guys, all right? You're the ones that I need. I got so many pieces on this chessboard right now, all right? This is your assignment. So I need you to think about what you want to do immediately and what you may think you're not ready to do. And he looks at Salvo, looks right into those glasses at you. If you're not ready for an escort mission, then maybe you can come back to it later.
Salvo, maybe there's a dragon there. Maybe we can fight a dragon.
Always wanted to punch a dragon.
Yes.
Ooh. He points to the man in the back wearing the suit and he goes, "Oh, hey! Yeah, James Clark here, new director of the CIA. Pretty neat stuff." He gives like a Paul Rudd vibe off of, not kind of what you expect from the CIA. Yeah, so we have a mission too. In America, or what used to be America, what used to be Connecticut. My geography is not always the best. Yeah, so this guy, and he puts down a photo of like an extra from 80s Wall Street movies, basically. Slicked back hair, suspenders, white shirt, like red tie. This here is Emilio Sheen. Used to be some hot shot on Wall Street a couple of years ago, whatever. Anyway, he is now like some sort of demigod or something. He's got magical spiritual powers. We don't quite understand how it works. But part of why he's so strong is he has some sort of chest thing. Some sort of like
hair?
No. Like an
Bronze?
armor
Like
thing.
an outbreak or like
No,
an
that's
allergic reaction.
I know a little something about that, but no.
A pulmonary condition?
No, I'm gonna keep saying no until you let me talk.
No.
It's like an armor, like an armor piece. I'm not really sure what it is, to be honest, but
like a breastplate.
Yeah, like a breastplate, little less like 1,000 years before breastplates were a thing. It's like that. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I'm just the director of the CIA. I don't know about this kind of stuff. Yeah. New director, by the way. Used to work in the Department of Environment, or Department of what? So yeah, that area.
Is he? I just lean over. Is he trying to convince us or himself?
I'm good at my job. He says, "I'm good at this."
You practice that in the mirror in the morning.
Go down in history as someone who knows about CIA directing. So yeah, he's gotten power somehow. We think it's related to that breast piece thing that he's got, and we think as a result he's kind of gathered these followers that kind of worship him in like a creepy way. So
like a cult?
Yeah, like a cult. Oh, that's the word I was thinking of. And he turns to Quinn Sebastian. And Quinn Sebastian also, again, has his fingers between his eyes and is just like, cult. Yeah, it's like a cult that worships him. And we think that is also adding to his power. So it's a combination of A and B, breastplate and cult. So go there, stop the cult, take the thing, get the thing, and win the war, right? Yes, that is a very succinct way of putting it. Okay, pretty simple. We can help you get in, and it's right there. So it's not going to be a big deal, I'm sure. And then he smiles at you.
Sure.
So Quinn Sebastian says, all right. Like I said, there's more pieces around the world. We're currently having our scouts try and gain more information, our spies behind lines tell us where exactly they might be. We're not totally positive on those things. In the meantime, yeah, if you would take one of these two missions, that would be preferable. What do you all think? Which do you prefer?
Well,
question.
Question.
Out of character.
Yes, please.
So, these are different COSMs, right?
Yes, these are the Living Land, which is what the left and right coasts of America and parts of Chicago are, and Isle, which is all of the UK and parts of Western Europe, like Scandinavia area kind of stuff.
And okay, in Isle, we're escorting him home.
escorting him home. Oh yeah, so he says, I will exchange the crown for safe passage and returning home. If I do not return home safely, you do not get the crown.
And the crown is part of this
Armor.
right.
Eternity kick-ass
Right.
armor.
Great, yeah, the kick-ass armor. Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
And then the other one is just get a breastplate from a cult leader.
Cult leader, stockbroker turned cult leader.
Oh yeah, that sounds about right.
My nightmare.
This is
Two of the worst things in this country.
Should we vote? You know, we are a democracy.
Well,
Damn right we are.
I know
Yeah.
I don't want to go home right now. I just left. I don't want to go back yet. Well, also, wait. Also, what's in America again?
So
Sorry,
the
Annika.
Living Land is kind of like the Savage Lands from X-Men, if you're familiar with that. There's dinosaurs. It's a world of exploration.
Oh.
That's kind. So let's go over. We mentioned laws again. These are the kind of atmosphere and themes when you go into each
Yes.
cosm.
Yes, please.
And
This'll
the
help me with that.
laws of the Living Land are what I'm going to be telling you in a moment, that are called the Law of Savagery. So denizens here have embraced their primal instincts. Like I said, it's a very tribal world. All-out attack, which I know we talked about earlier, Salvo. It's you attack and get a +4 bonus to hit, but you take a +4 or a -4 negative penalty on being hit. But if you hit someone with all-out attack, you get extra bonus die to your damage.
ooh.
The Law of Life is also in effect. Like I mentioned earlier, some cosms gods walk around among us. This is one of those places.
Okay.
The goddess Lanala is basically the leader of the religion within this world, and she is known to take the form of people and walk among its
I
many
would probably not be
denizens.
happy about a cult rising.
Probably not. You know, if
Okay.
that's where he is getting his powers. Sheen is getting his powers. Is that he is gaining this kind of spirituality and
Okay.
influence from his cult. It's also because of that, like things heal faster, vegetation grows quicker, like versus the other cosms, like this became overgrown much quicker.
Yeah.
And there's a bonus for when you are wounded and knocked out. You'll get an up bonus when facing
okay.
a defeat, which is what you roll when you're dying, basically. So you'll always get
Right.
an up bonus because wounds close quicker. The last aspect of this world is the Law of Wonders. This is a world where other cosms seem, for whatever reason, to get like pockets of those get lost here. Like you may be walking through the jungle and trip and fall, and suddenly you're at the passageway for an underground city. Or you may be walking and you might find like a crashed UFO. Technology is still in effect, but these or the technology limits are still in effect, but these pocket cosms are kind of outliers within the world.
Okay.
So you can run into anything. That's sorry, continue.
Yeah. No, as much as I'd like to escort this man home.
Lord, he says.
Man home. We could maybe deal with the larger issue, which seems to possibly be a cult.
I mean,
Yeah. It's only a matter of time before they try to apply for tax-free status, and we can't allow that to happen. Not in this country.
Yeah.
No.
Their tax deductibility could make or break this entire campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
So you know where my vote lies.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's 2 words: dinosaurs.
That's right. There are dinosaurs running around.
I want to see them.
Certainly, I want to take out the scum at home. Sure, why not?
All right, then. It's agreed. You'll go and you'll take down Emilio Sheen, and you will bring back the chest piece. And then he claps his hand, and that is where we will end the first episode of Reality Raiders 3, the the search for the Eternity / kick-ass armor. Great first session, everyone. Yay! Woo!
You did it.
Let us go around once more. Where can people find you on the internet? What are you working on right now that you want to plug? Let us start with you, Amber.
Hi, me, Amber. You can find me on Twitter at Rocket Orca. I'm the co-owner of the Geekspective podcast network, where I have my show Shapeshift. I'm running a Ryutama campaign, sometimes streamed live. I've been kind of bad with my schedule right now, but podcasts come out every other Thursday. Also, Red Mage Blue Mage is a podcast I'm on. It's co-hosting, talking about Magic the Gathering. Man, October is a crazy month for me. I'm also starting a new show using the Warren.
Oh, bunny
live
game.
stream. Yeah, it's a bunny game. I wanted to do a bunny game. And then what else am I doing? I don't know.
It
I'm
is
drawing.
wonderful. By the
I
way.
love the
It's
Warrens.
wonderful.
It's my favorite game to run right now, other than Ryutama. And other things I'm doing, I'm just drawing goblins for Halloween. So every day a goblin. Come to my Twitter to check that out.
Awesome. Shona, where can people find you? What are you working on? I know you're working on something cool.
Yes, I'm Shauna, Flying Source on Twitter, where I have all the games I play and the art that I do for several streams. And as far as projects, yes, the big one coming out right now is I designed a new hero for the Hero
Yes.
Quest campaign of the new game. So that's been unlocked, and hopefully there'll be more. I'm very excited. And very happy.
Very
Awesome.
cool.
Dot, where can people find you? What are you working on?
You can find me online, Twitch, Twitter, most of the time as Little Red Dot. I play games, I tell stories with awesome people like this all over the internet. So I do that like a lot. I could make a laundry list right now. My big new project is a podcast. I've been delving into that in the wake of 2020, and I've got a new VTM podcast out with some friends. You can check it out, Pod by Night or Stitch of Fate. And then I'm writing off an arts grant right now, thanks to the city of Atlanta, which is going to be funding some new shows on my channel over the next 2 months. So I'm sure as this show continues, I'll talk more about what those games are and stuff. But very excited to have like new opportunity and a lot less hustle from me. So thank you, city of Atlanta.
Awesome. And Pruitt, besides here every Thursday at 6 p.m., where else can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at jpruinc. Also, of course, we have our shows coming out every Wednesday on YouTube on the WebDM channel. We got a lot of exciting things coming up, so please stay tuned. Best place to do that is probably on Twitter. Follow that WebDM Twitter, because we got some crazy stuff coming up, and I'm sad that we have to go because these colors don't run. Back to you, Rudy.
Oh, thank you,
Wow.
Pruitt. You can follow me on
What I do.
Twitter at Rudy Basso. You can also check out don'tsplitthepodcastnetwork.com for some great podcasts that will be ending in 2020. Sad face. Goes in the book, blah, blah, blah. And that's it. So be sure to tune in next week for more WebDM plays TORG Eternity. Bye.